Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you so much for checking out another video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. As you can see from the title of this video, I am going to break down the alleged altercation that has taken place between singer Usher and Chris Brown's team. But first, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video. It will cause YouTube to push this video in its algorithm, meaning that it will recommend this video to more people who have similar interests. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. I do offer a variety of content, including celebrity news and gossip, reality TV star interviews, and of course, TV show recaps. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right down to business. So the alleged altercation, y'all know I got my notes. The alleged altercation happened at a party that Usher paid for and hosted for Chris Brown. One of the invited guests, Usher invited her, was Teyana Taylor. As you know, Teyana has been a close friend of Chris Brown's. However, Chris was mad at Teyana Taylor, has been mad at her for a few months now, ever since she had to back out of a performance at an award show where Teyana, Chris Brown, along with Sierra, were going to do a tribute to the late, great Michael Jackson. Both ladies actually had business to take care of and had to cancel the event. And once it was just going to be Chris Brown on stage, the award show pulled the performance out altogether because it did not want to face backlash of having an abuser on stage. So they just canceled the Michael Jackson tribute performance altogether, or, at least Chris Brown's involvement. So back to the party. So Chris Brown allegedly is enjoying himself at the party. You know what I'm saying, meaning spirits, libations, perhaps even additional things, allegedly, just based off of what I have heard. I've actually gotten some of these details from Tasha K, Love B. Scott, and Scotty by Nature. Shout out to those bloggers. But so I've heard from a few different sources, or I read, and heard their reports. And so Chris Brown was mad at her, and he was probably already kind of like in the clouds, if you know what I mean. And so he was very kind of mean towards her, allegedly cursing her out. And eventually he asked Teyana to leave. And Usher intervened and said, whoa, I don't want her to leave. I invited her. She's your friend. She doesn't have to go. And Chris Brown was mad that Usher was defending Teyana, and Chris Brown leaves the party, goes into the parking lot. Usher follows him, and allegedly Chris Brown's team jumps him. Now, I've heard a couple of different reports. According to Tasha K, Usher is not physically hurt. He's only embarrassed that he's gotten beaten up. And, almost like kind of like that urban male mentality, he's beat up, so he's embarrassed. It's his pride, almost like he's just trying to act like it never happened. He won't report it, and he's embarrassed. And then other bloggers have reported that allegedly Chris Brown has like damaged ribs and additional physical injuries. So that's that. Either way, it was a serious altercation for there to even be the ability of an alleged rumor of injuries like that. So then, so basically that is the story of him getting jumped by Chris Brown's team in the parking lot of where the party took place, of the venue. So with my thoughts, definitely, of course, if Usher is injured, I definitely wish him a full recovery. I hate it because, I've heard like positive reports, like positive reviews on his residency in Vegas, and only the huge, huge stars do Vegas residencies, like Usher, Mariah Carey, and the Jacksons. They did it as children. I'm guessing that's why we haven't even seen Janet Jackson do a Vegas residency, because she's done it already. I believe since when she was 7 years old, she did Vegas. That's amazing. But anyway, I hope Usher, if he is injured, he's not losing any money over this situation. That would totally suck. And then also, I personally hope that Usher reports the incident, just because I don't want him to give in to that urban mentality that you're being a snitch if you involve the authorities. He was attacked allegedly. He did nothing wrong. He paid for this party for this guy. And this guy is mad at a woman. And I'm assuming Tayana's husband wasn't there. And, only a punk would step to a woman when he feels like there's no one there to physically protect her. And that sucks. And I know the feeling. I have felt like that in church as well as on the job. When a man assumes that no one will protect you, they just really do the most. All right. So, also with Tana Taylor, I'm going to say this carefully, and it's definitely not like obviously the energy that she was defending, that energy has returned to her as far as Chris Brown's, being allegedly really aggressive verbally with her and being disrespectful and humiliating her in public. But she did once defend him when it came to his attack on singer Rihanna. So now she knows what it's like not to just be disrespected by a man, but the same man that you once defended. So I'm sure she's having all sorts of revelations and breakthroughs right about now. So then also, I just want to point out some things about Chris Brown. I have to say that, I am wrong myself because deep down, I always knew that I was wrong for supporting his music. I love so many Chris Brown songs. Oh my gosh. From, No Bullshit to New Flame and Excuse Me Miss, that was his teeny bopper days. So when he put his hands on Rihanna, I knew that it was wrong, but I still continued to support his music. And I did not give it much thought. I pushed it to the back of my mind and I ignored it because I was such a fan of the music. And I have been an indirect enabler of his troubling behavior because obviously nothing has changed, right? And if anything, since then, he's made even more money, And the thing is that the more mainstream community, people of a different persuasion, they canceled him because he was on his way of being a teeny bopper. I always said, in my opinion, that's how Justin Bieber was able to swoop in and become such a huge pop male star because the mainstream community had canceled Chris Brown after he hit Rihanna. And that's how Justin Bieber was able to swoop in because Chris Brown, he had a pop, both of them, Chris Brown and Rihanna, they both had a pop fan base. But then that changed and all his team did was, so this is like teeny bopper Chris Brown, Excuse Me Miss, Run It when he first came out. And then after he hit her, then he became like Bad Boy Chris and his team. It was genius. Don't get me wrong, but we're all like enablers because all his team did was they embraced what he did to Rihanna and they made it a persona. And they colored his hair blonde. He's colored his hair a bunch of colors several times over, of course, but they colored his hair blonde. He got tatted all over and became like this bad boy image to personify the monster that hit her that night. And our community, we embraced that persona and we just pretty much ignored what happened to Rihanna. And if Rihanna has ever had any anger or sadness towards, because she's Caribbean, she's Afro-Caribbean, part of the diaspora, if she ever felt like, we really didn't have her back, she's definitely entitled to her feelings. Anyone's feelings are valid. And she would have the receipts because we, I'm not speaking for you when I say we, but, people who did embrace his music like myself, we did that. And I can say that I'm wrong and I'm very sorry, and just when this happened with Usher, that's just when I had to verbally say it out loud that I am wrong for, supporting him. Even now, like here on YouTube, you can't even say RKELLY. Allegedly, YouTube doesn't even that's like saying a curse word. But, I remember, so I was an undergrad when the infamous tape came out with R. Kelly. And I was an intern. I'd done unpaid internships as a journalism major, and my family, cousins who lived on the East Coast, they would let me live with them for the summer. And I did, internships in DC and New York. And it was back when that infamous tape came out. So I remember some people were bootlegging it and you could watch it on what was called Napster. Now, for all of you young Gens, all of you young millennials and Gen Z, you wouldn't know nothing about Napster. Napster was back when streaming was illegal. And, that's how we buy new music. You stream it. But when I was an undergrad, it was illegal. And so, like, Usher, Alicia Keys, a singer or rapper would put new music out and it would find its way onto Napster. And so was the RKELLY tape. And so, like, you knew it was wrong. You could tell where he was hiding the video camera, and women would perform acts, and he would be looking into the camera. Depending on the facial expression, you could tell if he was bored or if he was getting into it. And then the last scene, the last girl, because the tape was edited, it was multiple girls at different times. And then the last girl was the underage girl and the golden shower. So, and that turned me off. And then he released his album called Chocolate Factory, which had Dance or Step in the Name of Love. And there was even a comedian, I don't want to say it was Comic View on BET, but it was a comedian somewhere that said, blacks were done with RKELLY until he came out with Step in the Name of Love. And I can remember, like, my god sister telling me that joke and we laughed. And see, the way I just told it just now, I did not tell it with expression because I'm not trying to make you laugh. But looking back, that was effed up. And the comedian made light of how we continue to embrace our KELLY. But, that's really sad. Remember the summer of 2020, or how could you forget 2020? And reality TV star Jennifer Williams from Basketball Wives, she had come out and said that, allegedly Tim Norman from Sweetie Pies was like a stalker, basically, had meddled with her, and nobody really believed her. Then all the charges came out with everything that happened with his nephew. And then that was also when the charges came out, it was at the same time that Breonna Taylor lost her life. Then that's when we had the hashtag Protect Black Women. But I always felt like that hashtag was all cap because, Tim Norman, it wasn't until his nephew, a man, was unalived that then it circles back to Jennifer. Oh, we should have believed her. Something could have happened to her that could have been her. And then because, we get so upset when a non-Black person harms a Black person, then it's like, oh yeah, and protect Black women. So, it's all said out of love because I want our community to get better. But these are major flaws that we have to work on. Because I feel like as a Black woman, like whenever I have an opinion that is saying I'm being done wrong, there's always going to be someone in the Black community, another Black woman, who will say, I'm wrong for feeling this way. But like I just said a few minutes ago, everyone's feelings are valid. That's their experience. And I learned that from watching Iyanla's Fix My Life, okay? So this is quite the week that we have been having in terms of revelation and just how, Black women, everything about us is policed. Who we date, how we wear our hair, and if someone clearly with proof has abused us, whether or not we get the support that we deserve. Lord have mercy, Jesus. So let me know in the comments what you think about this entire story. Obviously, it opens the door to additional discussion with other individuals, right? In the comments, try not to type RKELLY, at least not together, maybe space it out. Or if you don't remember to do that, it's all good. But please hit the like button on this video. We're censored over here. That's just how it is, but I get it if YouTube wants the community to remain safe virtually. I totally understand and I appreciate it. But yes, please hit the like button on this video. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. I'd really appreciate it. I hope you are enjoying your weekend. I am. I saw Guardians of the Galaxy. I love Marvel movies. So I love action films and I love the superhero Marvel and DC. I like both, but I really love Marvel. And I do like horror movies. I know that's weird, but it's the truth. But anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy, it was good and it was emotional. They almost got me like a few times. And I remember watching a clip where one of the actors, he plays Peter. He's like, I hope you have some tissues. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope they're not going to take anybody out like they did Iron Man. But they almost get you, like it almost seems like it's going there. So if you're into the superhero movies, the Marvel, go see Guardians of the Galaxy. It was great. Well, I will talk to y'all later. I'll do a recap on Love and Marriage Huntsville. It will be a pre-recorded video. I won't be able to go live tomorrow unless I do like a live reaction. It'll be like later on in the evening. I'm going to be busy. So I will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.